Witam Was, kochane osoby, w kolejnym odcinku gry Horizon Forbidden West. Nie wiem, czy to będzie ostatni, czy przedostatni odcinek, ale w każdym razie dzisiaj zaczniemy sobie ostatnią misję. Właśnie mamy zebrać towarzyszy, ale zanim to z nimi porozmawiamy wszystkimi. Tu ktoś jest? Nie, ale chyba... A nie, to jest... coś mi się pogrzmaćkało. Eee... Dobra, tu ktoś jest?
Did you need something? Bravo. You managed to sway a Zenith to your side. Care to explain?
Not a chance. I thought you said the weapon was ready.
There's always room to optimize. But that's not why you're here. I assume you want to comprehend my undertakings.
W ogóle teraz wam szybko jeszcze powiem, że będę te dialogi, tak jak oni skończą mówić, przewijać, żebyśmy wszystko mogli przeczytać, usłyszeć, ale bez zbędnego
So,
czekania.
Since when were you so forthcoming?
since you turned this into a waiting game, and as it seems you have found modest success, perhaps I'm willing to be generous.
Okay, so your big plan, everything you've been manipulating for the last few months. Let me see if I got this straight. You learned about the Zeniths from Hades when you interrogated it. Then you came up with a plan to defeat them by using a Tenakth army and that weapon. And to get the Tenakth to fight for you, or rather the Sons of Prometheus, armed Regala's rebels with override.
Did you have an actual question, or are you still playing catch-up?
So all this time, even before I found the coordinates at the Spire, you were out here scheming. Why couldn't you just tell me?
When I learned of the Zenith's return to Earth, I knew I would one day require an army to assault the Zenith base. And I knew you would never allow such a sacrifice, no matter how necessary. Thus, I devised a means to remove your interference from at the Hades Proving Lab.
You wanted me to surrender to the Zeniths at the Hades...
Based on everything I knew about them, I concluded they would find you a useful asset, thereby keeping you out of harm's way, and more importantly...
So you really didn't know they had their own clone of Elizabeth?
No. Unfortunately, there was no way I could have known that particular detail.
Detail? Well, I
The
guess if it wasn't for
person.
that, we wouldn't be here today.
No, masakra.
Tell me about the weapon.
I've upgraded the delivery system. It now emits a wave-like effect
That doesn't fully answer my question.
No, but I'd be a fool to reveal its inner workings. After all, why did you withhold your plan for dealing with... Yes. Even you can appreciate the value of secrecy when warranted. Suffice it to say that the weapon will work. The intricacies of how...
Why help Regala take over? If you wanted an army, you could have just gone to Hekara.
Before Regala's rebellion, Hekaru was only concerned with battling machines and fostering friendships with Akarja. Even if I gained his ear, he would never agree to send his forces to battle a threat he couldn't understand.
So helping a bloodthirsty exile was easier.
Yes. All Regala craved was war. Against the Karja and anyone who threatened, she would have led the tribe into battle without question, which was...
Why create the Sons of Prometheus? You didn't need a Sarah to make override tech.
They were a necessary safeguard. The eclipse demonstrated the risks of getting directly involved. Through the Sons of Prometheus, I could execute my plans, all while remaining anonymous.
Except to a Sarah. How did you get a Sarah to work for you?
I knew there was an associate of the Oseram tinker, Durval, who escaped it. It was trivial to track her down. She wanted to succeed where Durval had failed.
So you promised her Regala. The Sarah would help you create a machine-riding army and wanted to see Meridian burn as much as she did.
And so a partnership was born out of thirst.
You think you had everything figured out.
I did.
No właśnie, to też jest ważne, że bez tego, że odkryliśmy Aserę, byśmy nie mogli o tym porozmawiać w ogóle z
While I
Silencem.
was out there, I had a couple run-ins with the Quen.
The tribe from across the ocean.
Their entire tribe was shaped around the One of them, Alva, don't you want to know more about?
No. They stumbled upon the greatest technologic from the ancient world and What did they shrouded the knowledge they unearthed in mystics, creating a pantheon out of corporate shields?
Yes, well, it all...
Did it now?
So those run-ins with the Quinn I mentioned, on one of them I teamed up with her. We found Pharaoh at the end.
You must have needed Omega clearance. So,
Worse than you can imagine.
he single-handedly wiped out collective human knowledge. I'm sure it was still less than he deserved.
Let me guess. You would have scraped him into a jar so you could prod his brain, like what you did with Hades.
For a start.
All right, Silence. I think I've talked to you long enough. I'll let you know when it's time to go. And try not to mess with Tilda while you're in here, okay? I don't need the two of you butting heads.
Yes. I wonder if you understand what kind... For someone to live as long as she has, outlast as many calamities, well, your goals may be aligned now.
Yeah, I'm aware. Reminds me of...
Survival is only a necessity to my greater... I'd hoped you'd recognize that by now.
Do you know something or not?
Oh, I know a great deal of things.
Oh, a feeling. You mean you finally had one? Huh. Guess even you can change, Silence.
Oj, Aloy, Aloy. I think you are very much tired of this shit.
I keep thinking
Ktoś tu jest? Nie.
he's just gonna be standing there.
Ktoś tu jest? Ach, ale wahaj.
You flew? Kotalo told me. You know what? I don't even know why I'm surprised. I saw we have visitor. Does this mean we're ready to take the fight to the...
Almost. You sure you're okay going on this mission? I know things must be happening pretty fast for you.
I've already braved oceans and madmen who thought they were ancestors. Why not a few immortals with lethal drones at their command, too?
Guess the more the merrier. Are you okay?
She seems angry. The kind of angry that leads to murdering people in their sleep.
Don't worry. We're going to point that anger in the right direction. The Zeniths.
If you say so.
Yes, I'm say so.
I suppose you saw that Tilda is here. Our very own Zenith.
I almost went up to her to ask her, well, every question I've ever had about the legacy. Every diviner I know would kill to get 5 minutes with one of the old ones. But now that she's here, all I feel is a vague unease. I don't know if I'm scared of finding out more uncomfortable truths, or just scared of her. Probably both.
I hope our new guests have been behaving.
This Silence, he's the one who built the weapon that can take down Zenith's shield?
He is. Though I wouldn't expect him to answer any questions about it. He refuses to dole out his secrets to us lesser mortals.
Oh.
You know that special part of us that makes us warm, kind, welcoming?
Our spirit?
Yeah. He was born without that.
Good. That's heavy.
I'll be...
Aloy. Hey, to commemorate our mission. We did good together.
Yeah, we did. Doesn't look like any of our guests are making trouble.
Yet. So, Katalo tells me you flew. Well, that's new. I've been busting my balls trying to learn to read. You're out there having all the fun.
Don't worry. You'll be getting all the fun you can handle soon. With the Zeniths.
Looking forward to it.
You should know. Silence is involved with the Sons of Prometheus. He's the one who gave them the override tech to begin with.
Why doesn't that surprise me? That's probably all part of some master plan, huh?
At least we know we're good at wrecking those.
Damn straight.
You, talked to Til...
I tried. I don't think even a hot forge could melt that ice. And you say she wants to help?
I think so. Well, let's hope. I guess Silence is keeping to himself, as usual.
I was hoping he'd give me an excuse to hammer his sorry ass to the ground.
Please don't.
You telling me you wouldn't want to get just one good hit on that smug face of his? After everything he's done?
Sure. Later. Right now, he's got something we need. I need to go.
Right.
Zdwój obrażenia na krótkim dystansie dostaliśmy. Aha, great. Ale 25% to dużo. No nie możemy rozmawiać przez stół, rozumiem. Okej.
Aloy. I'm glad to see you're okay. I heard you gave the Tanakh something to talk about. I was half expecting you to burst in through the ceiling riding a sun.
Sorry to disappoint. Ready to head over to the Zenith.
Whatever comes, we will...
Thoughts on our new Zenith acquaintance?
I'd say she smells like death, but even death smells of something. She's more like a cold piece of metal, bent on repelling all semblance of life.
She's definitely different. Have you talked to any of our new friends?
Aaron and I tried speaking to Silence, but apparently our tribal prattle is unnecessary.
Charming, isn't he? How's Aaron doing?
For a moment there, he thought he'd lost both you and Varl, but he never truly succumbed to despair. Guess that Oseram's stubbornness comes in handy.
I have to go.
I'll make sure Aaron doesn't...
Thanks.
Dobra, został jeszcze Kotalo. I ta cała Tilda.
Haven't seen you since the battle at the Grove.
I saw you fly on the wings of the Ten. And
Znaczy
Peril has
Rogala nam
forgotten to
została.
say that I am...
Thank you, I guess.
It is I who should be thanking you.
Look, I know you're probably not happy about keeping Regala around, but I want her on our side when we...
It is more than she deserves. Even so, I will not question your judgment.
Thank you, Katalo. Did Aaron tell you we found rebels the power to over...
He told me of the battle. I suggested he etch this victory on his fighting arm with one of our inkers.
Is he going to do it?
He didn't say no.
Things will get... You'll need every trick you've...
I would have it no. Many soldiers died, and we will endure on their behalf. Though I am without an army of our...
Leave that to me.
As you say.
Did you meet Tilt?
There is something about her. I wouldn't be surprised if my sword went through her.
Honestly, with her, nothing would surprise... Your people keep mentioning the wing...
The visions tell us that the Ten flew on and leapt into battle from the... For us. To imitate it is why the challengers leap into the arena during the Kulrut. And now, like the deeds of the Ten themselves, it will never be forgotten. So, tell me.
I won't lie. Pretty good.
I can only imagine.
I have to go.
Understood.
There you are.
Co tam?
Well, you're truly a shining example of Liz's fortitude.
I've been thinking about what you said at your house. How you were friends with Elizabeth. It was more than that, wasn't it?
Perceptive as ever. You're right, we were together for a time.
Okay, so... What happened?
I was an orphan. I had always been alone. By my 30s, I was starting to wonder if that was simply my fate in life. And then I met Liz. We kept running into each other at conferences. We'd have coffee. At some point, it became drinks. I thought it was just shop talk, an exchange of ideas, but then I was surprised at how much I looked forward to seeing her. Soon we were flying halfway across the world every other week just to meet up. For the first time, I didn't feel lonely. I could imagine a future where I wasn't. I think Liz felt the same way at first. She had lost her mother a few years back, I filled a void for her. I know I did. But as time passed, it seemed as though she wanted less when I wanted more. And so we ended things.
So helping me, restoring Elizabeth's dream, it's what,
A second chance, yes. I made a mistake leaving
Co?
Earth while Liz stayed behind. I should have done more. So when I saw you,
Jak się Eloy
a
odsunęła.
woman who has carved her own remarkable path, beyond even what made Liz a phenomenon, I knew I had to help you. To do right by her.
Widzieliście, że ta baba, Tilda, powiesiła sobie już obrazki tutaj, w tym pokoju?
why did you make the data channel look like your house?
I built that house as a shelter to weather any storm. A safe place, not just for me, but for the art stored in its depths. Cultural artifacts of incalculable value. Truly, some of the greatest achievements of human civilization.
And you wanted Beta to see them?
Yes. Her upbringing was so cold and technical. I thought if she could experience Vermeer and Rembrandt, it would bring something else into her life. A heritage every bit as valuable as the scientific and technical data being drummed into her. I'm sorry I had to cut off contact, but I'll never regret sharing this house with her. She needed its shelter even more than I did.
When it's time to break into the Zenith base, what can we expect?
I'll go over the full layout once you've assembled your friends. Suffice it to say, we will need to push as fast as possible to Beta and Gaia, dealing with heavy resistance along the way. There are also printing facilities where the others have been the natural resources they've stripped from the region.
What for?
First for use in the base's infrastructure, and then to fabricate more Spectre drones, a small army of them.
When I was out in the wilds, I saw a shuttle take off from the island, heading for space.
It was likely ferrying materials to and from our ship in orbit. After hundreds of years luxuriating in our digital comforts, the ship was barely space-worthy when disaster can strike at any moment. We've learned our lesson.
You said before that you're not like the other Zeniths, that you never were. But you went along with all of their plans.
Out of necessity. I'm not proud of it. But complicity became a means of survival, both when Earth was consumed and when the colony on Sirius was destroyed. I did what I had to. But I resolved to remain one step ahead of the others, to try to undo what damage I could. Hence the data channel with Beta. The secret passage into their base.
Why do you think Elizabeth pulled away?
I've wondered that for 1,000 years. She was
Jezu, jak ona mówi, że się zastanawia nad tym 1000 lat, to wyobraźcie sobie, że ona mówi to dosłownie, a nie w przenośni. Jak można tyle
She
żyć?
kept everyone at arms. She never wanted to share her burdens. I think in the end she had a core that she never let anyone be. Sometimes I wonder if anyone really knew her.
I found a recording of you and Elizabeth back in the Proving Lab after Zenith's attempt to steal Gaia.
Yes. A most unpleasant conversation.
I think she regretted how things ended between you.
Did she? Thank you for telling me. I've always hated that those were the last words we ever said to each other, and that her last impression of me was as a functionary of Zenith, not who...
Have you figured out how Silence's weapon works?
No, and he's been very careful not to allow me near it. I'll admit it bothers me, but regardless of how it functions, I am confident it will deactivate the other shields on...
How many of them are in the base?
10, including Eric and Gerard. Only a handful of us made it to our ship when our colony collapsed.
So, Eric. Was he always a bloodthirsty psychopath?
I believe he got worse over time. On Earth, he was the founder of a profitable private military company, a band of cutthroats, in other words. Even as governments abandoned human combatants in favor of automated warfare. He found success with clientele that required a more personal touch. There were also rumors that he personally hunted and killed his targets, all for the thrill of it. But on Sirius, he retreated to virtual reality simulation. In them, he could go on rampages as violent as he pleased, though I suspect with diminishing satisfaction.
All of his tribe believes he was one of the greatest people from the old world.
Then they would be quite though I'm sure he'd bask in the adoration.
What can you tell me about Gerard?
He was the head of the world's largest financial conglomerate, and as such had dealings with almost every major corporation. It made him one of the wealthiest people on Earth, and
What does one person do with that much money?
buy more power, more influence. Gerard's always believed himself to be a refined patrician, able to maintain control with a polished smile. But beneath that exterior is a cold and calculating operator. It was his decision to restrict Beta's upbringing to her digital educator, the avatars of the Apollo database, while we were painted as her benefactor.
Well, we'll deal with him soon enough.
I would very much like to see his face.
When Beta escaped and hid in an ancient research facility, I saw another one of the Zeniths. Who was she?
A dull star amidst a sea. Unlike most of Far Zenith, amassed their wealth through shrewd business deals and technology. Verbena inherited her billions. Her father had achieved great success in the luxury holotourism industry. At age 24, she became the world's most eligible bachelorette, branding herself a life designer, someone who leverages their fame to influence the choice of...
What, like a cult?
In a way, yes.
Well, she must have done something right to have survived this long.
She was her own brand of ruthless. But even rats can cling to a vessel for escape.
Okay, so I've had run-ins with a handful of Zeniths. What about the rest?
An array of the wealthiest people on Earth. Titans of their industry.
And let me guess. All selfish and ruthless.
Most, but not all. There were Annika Murjani, for instance, was always delicious. She founded the Holonet's most successful dance channel and was herself And I had fascinating discussions with Song Jiao about her work. Our immortality treatments are due in part to her achievements. But then there were others like Devin Miller, the CEO of a fast food printing corporation. His only real preoccupations were perfecting his golf swing and taking self-harm. When I think about all of us, we really should have accomplished more.
Właśnie to chciałam powiedzieć, bo Tilda mi nie dała dokończyć, że ci ludzie mieli wszystkie możliwości świata, hajsu i oni po prostu uciekli.
We will.
Żyli 1000 lat i it was for nothing. Come on.
Before I forget, I watered those plants.
Dobra, jeszcze zostaje nam regala. Gdzie ona jest?
Just you wait, Varl. We're taking those
Gdzie ona
space lights
jest? Muszę tak chyba przeszukiwać te pomieszczenia. To jest
The
silence.
return.
Do regala jest. Może ona jest tam w podziemiach. Sprawdźmy.
This place smells wrong. No sand or wind, only cold steel. And the others up there, your squad.
They can hold their own. And as for this base, it may not be what you're used to. But it is a shelter.
Call it what it is. A cage.
You came here on your own.
For the battle you promised. So for now I wait in my cage for your word.
The deal you made. Override tech in exchange for an assault on the Zenith base. How did Silence approach you?
That name means nothing to me. My agreement was with the Asura Masera and her sons of Prometheus.
So all this time, you didn't even know who you were really dealing with? And you trusted an Outlander?
If it was a trick, I would have crushed her. But she spoke with the same burning hatred for the Karja. And she offered me the chance to run them down with machines. The terror in your enemy's eyes when they see you charge. You know what I'm talking about. I bet you felt it.
I don't think so. What about your end of the...
Had I killed Akaro and become chief, these Zeniths would have been the first of the tribe's victories. But
Because of me, hundreds of Tenakth won't throw away their lives in a battle they can't win. The whole time I've been in the West, I've been fighting you and your rebels. I'd at least like to know why.
you were among the enemy. What more is there to know?
Why did you do it?
Dorak, Jiroka, Makalo, and the Karja pushed into the desert to raid our people. My brother's squad was among the first to intercept them, but the Karja captured them, strung them up, and burned them alive as an example. It was too late. I found them by the sound of the...
So you wanted vengeance?
Vengeance. No. I wanted devastation. To tear down the Karja's cities and drown the land in blood. Hunt down every last survivor and grind their bones. But my chief betrayed me. Betrayed the Tenakth.
How did Hikaru betray you?
Hikaru called on the clans to resist the Karja's red raids.
Fashav told me how he became a marshal. He earned it just like any Tenakth.
It was an insult. No Outlander can ever deserve to wear our armor, bear our marks. And then a Karja messenger was brought before us? That's when I knew. I had to run my blade through Hikaru and drag his treacherous corpse to the gates of the Sundom.
Kurde, trochę z nią przypał, co?
What happened when the Karja messenger appeared before Hikaru?
The quivering priests bore a message from their new king. No more war. No more raids. Suddenly the Karja wanted to talk peace. An embassy at the very fortress we tore down? A true Tenakth would never take a Karja truce. Their blood exists to be spilled. But Hikaru lapped up the priest's message. He showed himself a Karja-loving traitor when he accepted. That's when I challenged him.
And lost.
His mercy was just another sign of his weakness. I vowed never to rest until the debt was repaid. With him on his knees. So with an army of soldiers and machines at my back, the day you got in my way.
Are you really going to fight alongside me?
No reason to betray you.
Really?
I failed to kill Hikaru. Failed to... The Karja remain out of my reach, cowering. All I have left are the screens. So show me where to bury.
All right.
Kurde.
Ever since you got in my... But if I'm to die in battle, then it might as well be with the one who...
I'll let you know when it's time to...
Kurde. Ludziska. Ach, dobra, jeszcze zanim to sobie umiejętności. Może tutaj. Fajna. Tego nie miałam, a to mi brakowało. Co my jeszcze? Dobra, mamy to. Tak naprawdę prawie wszystkie już mamy zrobione. Okej. I dostaliśmy przenośną osłonę, jak widzicie tutaj. Mamy też takie kapsułki, które zakładamy na naszą włócznię. Tak. Dobra. One chyba trwają jakiś tam czas. Widzicie, ona się tutaj odpięła już, ale
Okay,
chciałam wam
maybe
pokazać, jak
it's
to
time to get everyone
wygląda.
together so Tilda can brief us. But is there anything I should handle before that?
Nie.
There we go. More data for the dome. All right, people. I need you up in the control room, right away. Okay, everyone. We all know what's at stake. Beta, Gaia. Not to mention life on Earth. Now, it might seem like the Zeniths are invincible, but they're not. We've got what it takes to break into their base and defeat them. We even have one of them on our side. Tilda, show us the base.
It is constructed atop the ruins of an ancient military facility on an island to the southwest. I can get us inside. To this location. Undetected.
How exactly?
You'll know when you need to. Once inside, our goal will be this structure. The launch tower. Gaia and Beta are being held at the top. But along the way, we will face overwhelming resistance. Most importantly from Gerard, Eric, and the others. But also...
Once I take away their shields, we should be able to deal with them. But it will be easier to deploy the device if someone else is carrying it. I'll need a strong back.
Carry stuff? Yeah, I can do that.
Even if your device works, there will still be Spectre drones, scores of them.
If only we had an army to fight them.
I've got that under control. You'll know when you need to. All right. We'll meet up again just before we go in. Where's the best place to rendezvous?
On the coast, just across from the island. Once there, I'll show you the way.
Skąd ona
Okej.
wiedziała, żeby powiedzieć rendezvous?
I'll let you know when I arrive at the rendezvous point. And then you can join me. In the meantime, do whatever you need to prepare. Understood? You two? A minute? Tilda helped me get in touch with Beta, and she told me something important. There's an installation inside the base. It's called a regulator. Here. Once we're inside, I need you two to split off from everyone else and destroy it. So you'll have to bring explosives. This will help stop the drones. Everything depends on it. You with me? After that, I want you to find a way to infiltrate the Zenith network.
How?
Go over all the data that Beta left behind. She knew how to do it, I'm sure of that.
All right. But why? What am I trying to do?
Find information about the Zeniths. Anything Tilda's not telling us. Silence is right about one thing. There's no way we can take her on her word.
I'll do my best.
Keep her safe, okay?
On my life.
O, sweet. No dobra, zaraz pomów z towarzyszami. Jeszcze mam z nimi gadać? Ile tutaj jest gadania, co? Kto by pomyślał?
Remember, we need to get Silent's weapon to the Zenith base intact if we
We're
want to take their
finally
shields
doing
down.
this.
Never thought I'd be off on a mission to take down a bunch of immortals from the stars. I can hear the drinking songs already.
Nie wierzę w to, serio?
Carl made the right call. You know, bringing you here.
Thanks. Yeah, Varl. You know, I never knew he had a sister. I found out a few days before you guys went to Gemini. I was, well, to be honest, I was terrified I'd screw up the mission. So he sat me down for a drink. Just one, mind you. And we talked about family. Vala, Ursa, loss and revenge. How you helped us.
You know, we never did get that drink you promised back in the Embrace, and you never told me exactly how your sister escaped the Mad Sun King.
I guess we never got round to it. World ending and all. No time like the present, though.
If that one's not working right, you can have one of my spare focuses, you know.
Yeah, little bugger's got some personality, that's all. This saved my butt a couple of times now. It wouldn't feel right to leave it behind. You know, besides, it goes with my outfit.
Wouldn't want to spoil your look. You think it's time for us to finally have that drink?
Yeah? I mean, yeah. Oh.
So, how did Ursa escape Mad Sun King Jiran's palace?
Bo nie mają kufle wielkie.
First she had to survive the Sun Ring. And, you know, for what? To die as sacrifices, fighting machines in a pit. Thinking somehow that was gonna appease all the other deranged machines in the world? Ha!
And when it was Ursa's turn, the cards you thought she'd go down if they threw a big machine at her.
Oh, but she didn't.
Yeah, she defeated all of them. Even got some of Jiran's kestrels for good. And the Mad Sun King was impressed, I guess. Thought it'd be funny to have her run around his palace as a servant. He enjoyed humiliating her that way.
I remember you telling me something about that. That's how she met Avad.
Yeah, but what no Karja scroll will ever tell you is how the young prince snuck Ursa out of the palace. He knew their best chance was to get Ursa to blend in, so he got her everything she needed to disguise herself as a Karja noblewoman. Perfumes, veils, and all.
I get the feeling she wasn't too happy with that.
Oh man, Ursa would have rather fought her way out of that palace with her bare hands than put on all of that Karja eye paint. But Avad insisted it was the only way, so she agreed under one condition. Avad had to dress up as well.
She made Avad dress up like a noblewoman?
And Ursa said he looked better like that than he ever did in a crown.
That would, definitely make for an interesting...
Oh, it worked like a charm, too. Not only did they make it out of the palace, they paid a traveling merchant to get Ursa to the border, and none were the wiser.
You were right. That was a story best told over a drink.
All good stories are.
Dobra, elo.
I hope everybody's ready for this.
Aloy, nothing you do ever is. At least now you don't have to do it alone.
Thanks. Everyone here, if it weren't for Varl, none of it would have happened.
You know, there was this one night, right before Varl left with you to go to Gemini. He realized I was having trouble sleeping. I was nervous about the mission. To be honest, I think we both were. So, he asked me to join him in Gaia's dome. He brought up this hologram of Earth that you two found back in the Zenith launch facility. We sat there, just looking at it. I thought about how Plainsong was just a speck on that great sphere. How every corner of it must be teeming with life, and any fears I had about our mission were gone. I miss him
Nice.
terribly.
I know. You and Aaron seem to be on better terms now.
He may have terrible taste in music, but he did apologize for mocking my tribe, and that ale he keeps raving about isn't half... I still plan on beating that stubborn face of his to break our sparring stalemate.
Try not to hurt him too bad. I should go.
Before you do, there is one favor I would ask of you.
What is it?
You placed this focus in my care, and gave me the highest calling an Utaru has ever known. If I should fall in battle, I'd like you to be the one to bury my seed pouch. For the both of us.
So,
Make sure you stay alive to do so.
let's just try to all come back home. Okay?
Lol. Nikt nie ginie.
You nervous?
I'd be lying if I said I'm not.
The plan will work, if we all
Right.
Once all this is over,
I don't know. The more I think about it, the more worried. If I go back, I don't even know if they'd let me keep this focus you gave me, or what they'd do to me for reading what is clearly for... Even if I somehow were allowed to carry on my duties as a diviner, would I be willing to let the truths I've learned about the ancestors be buried away by the Board of Overseers? Would I dare challenge them and risk my family's safety? Or losing Federa?
No,
who's this
przerąbane.
Federa you mentioned?
She is another diviner. One of our best. We used to be rivals at the academy. I hated her guts. But apparently there's a fine line between hate and love. We became very... She promised she'd wait for me, no matter how long it took.
Well, that was smart of her.
O,
She
wow.
won't do any better.
Myślałam, że to już z Kotaro.
I don't know about that.
I do.
But it's sweet still.
The rest of us should be enough of a distraction to the Zeniths for you to hack into their network undetected. But you'll have to be quick, in case...
What exactly do you expect me to find?
I don't know. I want you to know I'm...
Whatever happens, I'm grateful that the legacy brought it. I never thought I'd get to actually meet an ancestor.
Come on, do I look that old? Katalo will protect you.
I'm not afraid. I know Katalo will fulfill his duty. If we die doing so, at least it'll be alongside a friend.
I'd rather you both stay alive.
We'll try and keep that. I'll be a mate.
Nie w tą stronę. Gadać ze wszystkimi, to jest takie
So,
męczące.
how are...
I do not know everything that you have planned, but it doesn't matter. All that remains is to follow you to...
Thank you, Katalo.
You brought us together. Oh, and by the way, to go back to the Tremortusk site and test my new before we leave on our mission.
Right. I'll let you know when I can make my way there.
Thank you.
Co? Jak to?
We didn't really get to talk about what happened.
There was nothing more to say. If he were to knock among the most distinguished of our tribe's warriors, his deeds were worthy of the 10. When the fight is done, I will have the Inkers etch his memory on my skin.
I'm sure he'd be on. Now that training time is over,
The Bulwark, and how we need another miracle if we're to survive the
I'll try not to let you down.
I know you will not.
I'll see you soon.
It will be my...
I co on gada, że ja mam znowu jakąś misję z nim? Nie wiem, o co chodziło. Chyba coś nie ogarnęłam, ale trudno. Nie ma na to
Welcome
czasu
back,
już.
Aloy. Would you
Nara.
like to continue our...
You said before that you're not like...
Both what I
Nie.
did to try to... Hence, and the little...
I should be going.
I'll be making...
Słuchajcie, no niby z nią porozmawiałam, ale nic się nie dowiedziałam. No trudno. Czy ktoś tu się jeszcze świeci? Ach, oczywiście Silence się świeci.
Aloy, something else?
No.
I'll be...
As you wish.
Okej, dobra, czyli nic. W takim razie wydaje mi się, że jeszcze będziemy mogli porozmawiać z Warlem. Sprawdzę to. No wiadomo.
Hey, Varl. It's almost time to sneak into the Zenith base. Rescue Beta and Gaia. I don't know how it's gonna go. I really wish you could be there. To help. Well, this is so long. For now.
Okej. That's it. That's it. Dobra, kochane osoby, na tym sobie zakończymy ten odcinek, a ostatni rozpoczniemy w tym miejscu właśnie, w tym rendezvous. Czy tam tutaj jakoś w tej okolicy.
Jill?
Bardzo Wam dziękuję za to, że jesteście i oglądacie i widzimy się w następnym odcinku. Cześć!